So about 2 years ago, I was in China. I was 13 at the time, and I had a small electric bike. And around that time, I got one of those cameras which you can pop on your head, and you can film what you're doing. And I figured I'd test that camera out by going on the electric bike and cruising around town. Yeah, and I thought I'd show you around what a Chinese city might look like. Here's the e-bike I had in China. I could get most places with this thing. Everyone lives in apartments in China, so yeah, therefore I'm taking the elevator down to the parking lot where I park my e-bike, and then yeah, off I go. So here I am leaving the car park. I'm actually driving down the wrong side, but there aren't really any rules in China. You just kind of go wherever. Here you just scan your card. It logs where you go in and go out, and then yeah, the gate will open and let you out. I tied it on a piece of string so I don't have to pop the key out of the ignition. On the left here you can actually see a electric tuk-tuk thing. You can see it's actually a rip-off Suzuki, and these are pretty common in China. Post offices used to use them to deliver mail and all sorts of stuff. Now there aren't really give-way rules in China, just kind of go wherever there's a gap. Looking back at this now, I don't know how I survived those 11 months or so living in China. Now look at this guy on his electric scooter or whatever. He's actually going to cut me off in about a second. Should have blasted my horn at him, honestly. So as you probably can see by now, we drive on the right in China. But sometimes nobody really cares about road rules, and you drive on the left sometimes. It doesn't really matter. My helmet had a crack in it, so I taped it off some tape, but you can see the tape is actually covering the lens of the camera now. Now I should mention this is Huizhou, or Huizhou. This is actually a third tier city, I believe. There's nothing really to see here, but it's just going down a long straight piece of road. Now I'm going through a tunnel, This tunnel is quite dodgy because cars have to overtake you very closely. I'm still amazed how I didn't get run over when I was in China. Okay, apparently I got overtaken by a delivery driver. He doesn't even have a helmet on. In China, a horn isn't really considered rude, but it's also not polite either. It's not like a real insult like it is in New Zealand. Um, if someone looks a bit dodgy, or you want to remind them of something, you might toot at them, but you wouldn't constantly honk at someone. You might have also noticed that most cars in China are either hatchbacks, saloons, or SUVs. You don't really see utes or anything like that because, people drive to transport people, not so much cargo with their cars. Whereas in New Zealand, utes are popular because you need to transport your bike and you transport like tools and stuff. You just don't get that in China. And what I just did is not illegal. Although there's a red light, I can go through it for some stupid reason. Take a look at that guy, he turned from a straight going lane. I actually do regret not making more videos while I was in China, um, but it just wasn't something I was really interested in back then. Now I'm just entering a construction area. They're building a lot of new apartments and stuff here. And again, giveaway rules don't really apply. I can't even actually read the sign. Yeah, so just plow through the intersection, make sure there are no cars, and you'll be good to go. I believe this place is some sort of retirement area for old people. It might even be, one of those places where you get a body cremated. I'm not too sure. Either or, I can't read any of the signs, so I don't know. Now I have to mention these are kind of the outskirts of the city. The city itself does not look like this. It's just because this place is still under construction. Also, looking back now, that was an incredibly stupid turn. I can't believe I did that. Holy crap. Same deal here. I wasn't even in the correct lane position and I turned. I don't know how I survived. And I just noticed there was actually a stop sign, but I didn't know how to read. I'm not sure if it's even legal for a 13-year-old to be riding around the city in China. But I didn't anyway, and I didn't actually get caught, so I guess it's legal if you don't get caught. Check out this dude's parking. Excellent, eh? I had no mirrors on my bike, so I just kind of blindly pulled in. Now I'm not actually running a red here, I'm waiting for those signals to turn green because there's actually numbers in the middle that count down. What I did there is just common, everyone does that. You're supposed to pull in front of the vehicles and then you're supposed to wait at the front. But you know, looking back at this now, and after returning to New Zealand for 2 years, I would never ever do that in New Zealand. I'll probably get yelled at, with horns honked, fingers pulled. Time to go through that dodgy tunnel again. You may have also noticed that there aren't any motorcycles on the road. The reason being is a lot of cities in China are actually trying to phase out motorcycles for a number of reasons. Firstly, they're hard to control. There's nothing preventing, you know, a motorcycle from riding on a footpath or something like that. No one really wears a helmet unless they, you know, actually care about their own life. And also, they emit more emissions than cars because they don't have catalytic converters and stuff like that. And yes, that was a cop car that just passed, and zero craps given. Here are the garden centres. Funny thing is, these are all competitors, but they're all next to each other. So this would, you know, be a place like Palmer's in New Zealand where you can just get your garden supplies. Getting overtaken by another delivery driver. I mean, at least he's wearing a helmet, but it's not even buckled, and he's got no gloves on. But then again, I don't have gloves on either. Nice indicator from the guy in front. I've noticed that you know, many drivers don't actually use the indicators. They just kind of look in the mirror, no cars, and kind of just, you know, pull into the other lane. And although I was probably in the wrong lane, that is not illegal, apparently. There's a T-junction up front again, and again, good way rules don't apply. Just go when there's a gap. And look at this guy, no indicator, and his brake light's actually even out. Some guy fixing a lorry on the side of the road. And the sun is starting to come out. How lovely. And again, what I did is also not illegal. I don't even need to do a shoulder check, apparently. And can I make the green light? Oh no, it's turned red, but I ran to it anyway. Pedestrian crossings in China don't work. They don't do anything. No one cares. Some people might let you cross, but realistically you have to wait for the cars to go by, and then you go. And my memory card went full at this point, so yeah, that just about wraps it up. I thought I might as well throw this in as well. This is a little video I made about Huizhou when I was still in China. And yes, the title is in fact wrong. This is the local park. well, one of the local parks. This is Shanghai, I guess, how you pronounce it. This is actually pretty close to where I was riding my e-bike just before. And this is a wet market. You can see it's pretty gross, honestly. This is like a thing from the past. Trying to get rid of these. These are probably not the most hygienic places. I did feel a bit of pressure, pointing a massive DSLR around as I was walking through these places. Um, I think I was alone when I was filming this, I'm not sure. These are the old apartment buildings. You can see these wires. I call them Indian wires, which is probably a bit racist, but yeah, I don't know. They're probably a bit hazard. You don't need to question the next part of the edit. I don't know if I should really actually include this. So my cousin was actually out with me this time. I managed to persuade him to, help me film the video. This is the riverside. You can see the financial district over there. These are the old buildings, which the new buildings in the previous photo replaced. They actually kind of look cool, but I don't think they're very structurally sound anymore. Given some of the floors are actually wood and they're rotting away. These are the new buildings. They're still under construction. I don't know how I feel about these. This is Shuidongta. Um, it's a relatively popular tourist place. And I cut out that part because you don't need to see that part. Anyway, here's me walking across the bridge. Yeah, you can see there's a hotel in the distance. Here's more of the old district. It's actually quite a nice place, actually. Okay, you don't need to question this part either. This is the, I don't know how you pronounce that, but yeah, this is another popular tourist place. I don't know why the video sped up. I wish I had my e-bike with me, because we actually took the bus here instead of riding. I love the style of this building. It's very Art Deco. Given the fact I like Morris Minors in the 40s. Here's the West Lake, the Huizhou West Lake. It's a very popular tourist attraction again. I used to go for a walk here sometimes in the evening. There's usually a lot of construction going on in China. They're always building something new. This is a local mall area. Apparently this is quite an old mall because, everything look a bit dodgy looking. Yeah, some of the scooters got bowled out of the way. Not sure by who. Now this is actually a lovely place. My uncle actually works in that hospital in the distance over there. Here's when I was in Guangzhou in China. This is a first-tier city, so it's a city that's much, much bigger than Huizhou. It's about 300 meters, not 300 meters, 300 kilometers west-ish of Huizhou. Takes about 3 hours drive. Some old people dancing. This is pretty common. We call this Guangchangwu, which literally means like square dance, like as in like a square. not like the shape square, but like a place, like the Here's the metro station. We don't actually have a metro in Huizhou. Now we're just walking to the Canton Tower. This is the financial district, and you can see that the traffic at this time is pretty bad. I wouldn't drive unless I needed to.
什么样的？哦，对，妈，现在看。
I don't know how they achieve this hologram thing on the tower, but it is pretty cool.
谋幸福，然后下面是谋复兴。
Also, you could probably ignore the Chinese subtitles I put on because I don't know how accurate they are. My Chinese is pretty bad.
这个远观，不要走。
This is outside Guangzhou City Library. Yeah, it's quite a neat place. Again, I shot this on a Nikon DSLR, so the picture quality is a lot nicer than that camera I had on my head when I was riding around on my e-bike.
然后你还可以用这样的方式。
We thought we might walk through a museum or whatever this thing is. It's like a shop that sells like coins, I don't know. You can see here the roads here are much better managed than the ones in Huizhou, and you don't get people driving all over the show like me.
右，从上往下，从右往左。中华民国。
And you can hear the horns in the background, as usual. My cousin and my auntie are trying to figure out how to decipher this because ancient Chinese it's read the other way around. I don't really understand it. It's something like that. That is pretty bloody expensive. That's about 96k New Zealand. You could buy 2 cars or one very luxury car. You can see a bit of smog in the distance, but it's just the nature of China, I guess. There's so many people living in a place. In Huizhou alone, we have more people than in the whole of New Zealand. This is another popular tourist destination. You can get like food, like shopping and stuff like that. I don't know what it is. So I think my camera died at this point in time, so I had to switch my phone. This was all such a long time ago before the pandemic. This was about mid 2019, I think. I can't remember. This is the old government building of Guangzhou or something. The council building, I don't know. But I'm not sure if it's still in use anymore. It might just be a historical thing. This is the view from our hotel room. Yeah, there's not much to see really. The next morning we went to this museum outside our hotel. Apparently these are these old artifacts here, and it's been preserved around inside a building.
但实际上的话，这个目表石在拓印下来之后，其实我都有看。你要把我拉过来。
I can't actually read the signs. There's English translations, but they're not very accurate, so they're probably useless. It was nice weather the next day, but it's also bloody hot. It was like 30 degrees or something. Here's some more artifacts. There's not much to see really. It's not as interesting as the streets and the towers and all that stuff.
Wow, 好像有水的。
Approximately 10 hours later.
Now Nathan, which is a friend of mine, would find this interesting. This is a computer city. Um, these used to be really popular. You could buy almost everything here. Like you've probably seen them on YouTube. You can get like parts for phones, you can get screens replaced, get PCs, get all that stuff, and they're pretty cheap as well. Some of them are knockoffs, whereas some others are genuine. Yeah, photos were not allowed, but I took them anyway. And then we got approached by some guys because they thought we were gonna go eat at their restaurant because it was like a lonely restaurant on the fourth floor or something. And yeah, here's me walking to the bus stop to get back to the hotel. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed watching what it was like for me and my 11 months in China, going around different places.